Good morning, Mr. Rebbe. Good morning.
Okay, we're not at Tetzaveh. When the Rebbe is Maamar at Tetzaveh, we're up to Eis Daled. In these copies that we have, it's page 7. The last thing that the Rebbe was explaining was after he explained Va'at Tetzaveh, and he asked a few questions, 4 questions in fact. Why does it say Moshe Rabbeinu commands? It doesn't say Hashem commands. And secondly, why are they bringing the oil to Moshe Rabbeinu? He didn't need the oil. And thirdly, the question is, why does it say Kosis Lamo'od? It should say Ha'ir. And fourth, it says Erev HaBeiker, and then it says Ner Tamid, which seems a contradiction because it says constant, and then it says only from night to morning. Okay, so he explains that Moshe Rabbeinu is the one that connects Eden to Hashem. The Eden are the foot, Moshe Rabbeinu is the head. The head is obviously greater than the foot, but nevertheless the foot has an advantage that the head doesn't have, that it could bring the head to a place where the foot can't go on his own. So he says to understand all of this, we need to understand that Moshe Rabbeinu is called Raya Mehemna. What does Raya Mehemna mean? Either a faithful shepherd, or more so, he is a shepherd of Emunah. Meaning every Jew has Emunah, it's superficial. Moshe Rabbeinu internalizes the Emunah, he feeds the Jews Emunah, and that's not only Moshe Rabbeinu, it's also the Moshe Rabbeinu in every generation, like Mordechai was Moshe Rabbeinu in his generation, and through the level of Mesiras Nefesh that Mordechai instilled within the Jews, he was able to feed the Jews the Emunah, that they're able to internalize the level of Mesiras Nefesh. Okay, that's what we're up to now. So he says in Daled, Vinei, Abir, pasuk Va'at Tetzaveh, the explanation in the Maamar of the pasuk Va'at Tetzaveh, B'Behemshech HaMaamar, V'Mavur B'Tchilas HaMaamar, comes in continuation to what he explained at the beginning of the Maamar. Because over there he says, V'Kibla Yehudim Es Asher Chelu Lasis. In fact, the Friedrich Rebbe's Maamar begins with V'Kibla Yehudim Es Asher Chelu Lasis. So he says, what does it mean? That the Gemara says, what does it mean? The Jews accepted upon themselves what they began doing earlier, but Matan Torah was the beginning of the acceptance of Torah. When was the finalization of acceptance of Torah? Was Dafka Purim. The Matan Torah was only the beginning. Hechelu lasis. Yet ubimei Achashverosh. Ubizman Gzeirus Haman in the days of Achashverosh, in the time of Haman's decree, that was the Kabbalah of the Kibbalah Yehudim. In other words, when did the Jews ultimately accept Torah? Was Purim. Al derech Maamar Azalik the Chazal say on the pasuk Kimu v'Kibbalah Yehudim, it says in the Megillah. Kimu mashi Kiblu Kfar. The Jews started keeping willingly what they accepted earlier. This that he even said, Nasa before Nishma, that was only Kabbalah. That was only the acceptance. And Achashverosh's time, the Jews actually started keeping it. And like we said, willingly. And the Friedrich Rebbe asks in the Maamar, it's a wondrous thing, and the Rebbe writes that the word Pella is outlandishly, completely not understood thing. He says, it means the finalization of Matan Torah happened at Purim. Matan Torah was only the beginning. When did it really happen? At Purim. So he asks the question, by Matan Torah Yisrael b'tachlis ha'ili. By Matan Torah, the Yidden were on the highest possible level. They had the highest level of revelation of Elokus. Like the Rebbe says in Tanya, second to the revelation of Mashiach was Matan Torah. Yeah, Matan Torah was the ultimate revelation of Elokus. There were also Even before Matan Torah, there are great revelations. There's Yitzias Mitzrayim, especially Kriyas Yamsuf. Gila of Matan Torah was Gilu in Aliyah, was even higher than everything else. Yeah, like we said, it's only second to the revelation of Mashiach. So the Rebbe says it doesn't make. The Friedrich Rebbe is asking. L'cheira, by Matan Torah, the Jews were on the highest possible level, and that was only the beginning. And yet, b'mei Achashverosh Yisrael b'tachlis hayirida. In the days of Achashverosh, the Jews were on the lowest of the lowest level. The neis of lehelim v'hester shebachol hagolus. In addition to the concealment of every golus, even when it's great for the Jews, it's still golus. The whole golus who bedugmas golus Mitzrayim. Every golus is similar to golus Mitzrayim. Or Kamesha golus Mitzrayim. Just say by golus Mitzrayim it says, that the Yidden didn't listen to Moshe Rabbeinu because of the hard slavery work. So the same thing b'chol golus. So every golus is a difficult time. Purim was even worse. And he says, the concealment of Elokus was even greater because he wanted to kill out all the Jews. There was a gzeir against every single Jew in every part of the world. So therefore the Rebbe is asking like this. By Matan Torah, the Jews were on the ultimate high level. By Purim, the Jews were on the ultimate low level. So he says, Afal Pikei, nevertheless, what do we see? Bisman Matan Torah, Ksho Yisrael B'tachlis O Ilui, when the Yid were on the highest of levels, was only Haschala Heichel Lasis, was only the beginning. Ubisman Gzeiras Haman, Ksho B'tachlis HaShiflis, on page 8, when they were in the lowest of the low, as Davke Kiblu Mashechel B'Matan Torah. So it's a Dvar Pella, the Rebbe says. By Matan Torah, the Yidden went the super high level. They didn't accept Torah completely. When was the ultimate acceptance of Torah? At the time of Purim, when the Jews were on the ultimate low. How could that be? Umevayah Bezan the Friedrich Rebbe explains the Bizman Gzeira, the time of the Gzeira, Hayakim Ateidas Mitzvah Shalahem Mesiras Nefesh. What was unique of Purim over Matan Torah? Mesiras Nefesh. Purim was the time of Mesiras Nefesh. Matan Torah, there was no Mesiras Nefesh. The Neisef Lazem, in addition to the fact, Shoyul have Mesiras Nefesh, they had Mesiras, in Purim's time, they had Mesiras Nefesh, Leilich B'Chas Sholim, not to deny the existence of Hashem. And as Alt Rebbe explains in Torah Shebe'im Ayu Maamirim Dasam, if the Yidden would have given up their religion and died in Purim, Lo Ha'isam Lehem Klum, nothing would have been done to them. This is the opposite of what most Mefarshim know, the difference between Chanukah and Purim. Because he says, Ki ha'gzeira ha'yiserak al Yehudim. What was the Gzeira? And Yehudi. What are Yehudi? Keifer Aveda Zara. He denies idols and admits in the whole Torah. But if they weren't Yehudim, if they gave up and they worshipped idols, Haman wouldn't have killed them. What was the Mesiras Nefesh? It never even entered their mind a foreign thought. And Chassidus explains even more. It was a whole year. From the time Haman made his decree, which was in Adar, until the time Purim was supposed to happen or happened, was mamash a year. And Chassidus explained that they stood Mesiras Nefesh Kol Hashana Kula. What does it mean Kol Hashana? There's winter Aveda, summer Aveda, fall Aveda, spring Aveda. 4 seasons have 4 distinct ways of serving Hashem. What does it mean they stood Mesiras Nefesh a whole year? Every aspect of their life had Mesiras Nefesh. Not here, yeah, and here not. The whole year they had Mesiras Nefesh. And he says, Hayolahem Mesiras Nefesh, Gam al-Kil al-Kiyam al-Torah mitzvahs. They had Mesiras Nefesh, even for the fulfillment of Torah mitzvahs. V'ache kilu kilas berabim. They even gathered people together, Loma Torah Mesiras Nefesh. Right? So he says that's what did it. Why is Purim greater than Matan Torah? In Giluyim, in Revelations, Matan Torah is infinitely greater than Purim. Matan Torah was the ultimate high. Purim is the ultimate low. What was the uniqueness of Purim? Mesidas Nefesh. Who awakened this Mesidas Nefesh in the Yidden? So they say there's some Mesidas Nefesh Shalohem. Haisayidei Mordechai, Yehudi was through Mordechai. Meishe B'Deira was the Meishe Rabbeinu in his generation. That's why the Yidden Purim finalized Matan Torah. The B'Matan Torah, where there was no Mesidas Nefesh, Haisei Rakas Chala was only the beginning. Ubizman Gzeiras Haman. Haisa Kabbalah was the finalization of Matan Torah. Why? Ki ayidei shahayu lehem oz mesidas nefesh bepoil al Torah mitzvahs, because Purim they had mesidas, real, not potential mesidas nefesh, actual mesidas nefesh. Nisalu be'inyan zeh, and the Rebbe writes in this thing because obviously Matan Torah was greater. They were elevated in this aspect. The Madrega Nailus Yeshim Mikameshoyi Bizman Matan Torah. The Eden Purim reached a level in this respect of Mesidas Nefesh, a level greater than they reached by Matan Torah. Lochein Oz Davke Aisa Kabbalah of a Kibbalah Yehudim. Why? Because Rebbe explained before that through Kosis, through being oppressed, meaning Mesidas Nefesh, you don't only come to Od, you become to Ma'or. You come to the source of Mesidas, a source of the Neshama, source of revelation. That is what Mesidas Nefesh revealed. Memela, Purim, because of the Mesidas Nefesh of the Eden at Purim, the Eden reached a level that they Matan Torah couldn't reach.
What does Esther have to do over here? Didn't Esther...
Yeah, she was a nice lady. I mean, like, she wasn't the Rebbe of the generation. No, Mordechai did it. She was the one that kept it written Ladeiris. Because Esther said Kisvun Ladeiris. The Chum didn't want to do it. So Esther was the one, but the Rebbe of the generation was Mordechai, not Esther. You could say, Shapirish Kosis Lamor, what does it mean, pressed? For more, Shaydei Kosis. Nish being broken and oppressed. Magil Lamor. You come to the level of more, is beard al zem, Shabizman exerted Dafke Bol Mesidas Nefesh Beifenai Yosef. Okay, the Rebbe's explained, you could say, but he says it's not mashma like that from the Maamar. The Chayri, you could say that what caused this level of Mesidas Nefesh of Ma'or by Purim, the fact that they were cautious, the fact that they were tortured. Ki Mesidas Nefesh mitzad etzem and neshama shelamayla mi'agilui Ma'or shebimenu nimtza'or aidei shahoyu ozba massive the causes nizgala etzem and neshama Ma'or. So the Rebbe could say, what caused this Mesidas Nefesh? The fact that they were cautious. Therefore, they had Mesidas Nefesh. Therefore, they had the level of Ma'od. He said, but that's not what mashma and the Maamar like this. But based on the sequence of the Maamar of the Friedrich Rebbe, Shapirish cautious Lamoy, Bola Achri in Raya Mehemna. In other words, like this. In the Maamar, the Friedrich Rebbe explains Raya Mehemna, right, Raya Neman, and then he explains the level of Kosus, which implies that where does Kosus come from? The Mesidas Nefesh, that comes through Moshe Rabbeinu. But Pashtus, you learn, you could say, okay, what caused the level of, because the Jews were tortured and oppressed, that brought them to the level of Ma'or. Mesidas Nefesh, greater than Matan Torah. But the Rebbe said from the Maamar it comes out that no, because he explains Raya Mehemna and then Kosus, which means, he says, comes out from the Maamar, then in Kosus Lamor, the fact that they have this Mesidas Nefesh, which brings up more, is Shayar Gam Lezeh Shemeshe Zon Umefanus as Amunah, is the outcome of Moshe Rabbeinu feeding Amunah that it should be in a Pnimius. So we have to understand what is what does that mean?
This last paragraph, so what is it saying with this sequence?
L'chaira, the implication would be that because the Jews were Kassis in Haman's time, so therefore they came to Mar. But based on the Hemshech, the sequence of the Friedrich Rebbe's Maamar, the implication is that Moshe Rabbeinu reveals that Mesiras Nefesh in the Jew.
Without Kassis Lamar.
Right. Not without. Through Raya Me'emna, you come to Kassis. That means who reveals this level of Mesiras Nefesh within the Jew to act on it and to have actual Mesiras Nefesh, Moshe Rabbeinu.
But you still need both, right? You still need to have both.
Yeah.
But
Mordechai is Moshe Rabbeinu.
You need Moshe and you need to be crushed.
Right. But who reveals it when the Jews are crushed? It has to come through Moshe Rabbeinu. Without Moshe Rabbeinu, from the sequence of the Maamar, it's not going to happen. He says like this. You can explain this. This that Yidden, like he said, what does Moshe Rabbeinu do? He feeds Amunah to digest it. He says, this that Yidden believe in Elokus, B'Amunah Pshuta, Maminim B'nei Maminim, Ve'in Tzrichim Raya, and they don't need any proof for it, is Mitzat Shnei Taimim. There's two reasons for this Amunah. One is V'Shemazlayo Chazer, because the mazel of the neshama sees Elokus, and neshama shalamayla roya Elokus, right? The neshama lamayla, that means the neshama that's not involved in the body, sees Elokus. Riya shalamayla me'aseichu, v'zeh poyol b'neshama shebeguf amunah b'Elokus. So the Rebbe says like this: the lower level is why is a Jew maminim b'nei maminim? So there's two reasons the Rebbe says. Number one, because the neshama that's not nefesh ruach neshama, but chaya, which is of a mazlaya chazi, by the way, the level of chaya sees Elokus because it's not in the body, and that trickles down and influences that the neshama that's in the body has emunah and Elokus. That's one level. But the second beer, which is the main thing, the shayrish amunah, the source of amunah that a yid has, comes from the essence of the neshama shalamayla mimazlei al chazi, which is higher than the mazel, meaning this that the neshama is bound with Elokus is his kashis, the essential bond, which is not tuluya b'asibo, which is not dependent on the reason, not even the inyan of the iyah shalamayla me'aseichel. Let me explain this before the Rebbe goes into this. Because my neshama sees Elokus, and therefore I have amunah, there's a cause and effect here. Because the neshama l'mayla sees Elokus, seeing is above believing, so therefore that trickles down in the neshama that's in the body to have amunah. But based on how much re'iyah you have, that's how much amunah you're going to have. It's like something additional. Because the neshama sees Elokus, therefore it has amunah. The second level is the neshama is Elokus. Why does the neshama believe? Because the neshama is one with Hashem. So it's not a reason because the neshama, a side thing. Because the neshama sees Elokus, therefore it has amunah. This level is the neshama is God, and if the neshama is God, that's what it is. It's not something additional added on that the neshama sees Elokus, because then based on what you see is what you get. Here we're saying that the neshama is Elokus, and that's a much deeper level of amunah. And Rebbe's going to explain what this means.
Is this Yechidah we're talking about now?
Yeah. What's interesting, B'chlal Mazlai Chazer, Chassidus explains, is the level of chaya of the neshama, and the other one comes from the etzem and neshama. That's Yechidah. So he says like this: V'yashleimar, the Rebbe says, Mechaluk im shebein shnei abiyurim, or the two in Yonim of amunah is like this. Page 9. Amunah ba neshama lo bashes beguf. The amunah that the neshama has in the body. Haba meriyas ha neshama shalamayla, that comes because the neshama lamayla sees Elokus. That's the level of makif. It comes from a level above the neshama. That's in the body. In other words, why does the neshama have amun and elukus? That's in the body, maminim b'nei maminim, because the neshama that's not involved in the body sees elukus. But he says, kivin shaneshama shalamayla, the neshama that's not in the body, the level of chaya, is the mailim yislabshus, higher than the neshama is permeating the body. Therefore, its effect, an impact of the neshama in the body is only makif. Meaning like this: that neshama is not involved in the body directly. Chaya yechida, chaya not yechida. The level of chaya is a superficial level, right? That affects the neshama indirectly because it's not directly involved in the body. In nefesh or neshama, which is internal. Chaya is an encompassing level, meaning it only affects the neshama indirectly. Like the Mazlai Choza of Chanani Mishov Azayah, they got feared. The Gemara says Mazlai Choza, they're Mazel Solukus. But that's an indirect effect that Chaya has on the body. And therefore, if Chaya is causing the Amunah in the Jew, it's also superficial. But Ubaghdei Shamuna of the neshama that's in the body should be bepnimius, should become internalized one with the neshama. Is aidei gilu yes kashrus atzmis the etzem and neshama. That's through the essence of the neshama. What do you mean the essence of the neshama? Ki etzem and neshama, because in the essence is the essence of the neshama which is in the body. If you remember Kuntas and Yonash Shoteres Chassidus, when the Rebbe explains the 5 levels in the Neshama, the 5 levels of Teira, Pshat Remed Rusad Chassidus, and Nefesh Ro Neshama Chai Yechida. So over there the Rebbe elaborates the Keiches Pnimi, Keiches Makifim, but even then, when you speak about the essence is not only the essence of the essence, it's the essence of Nefesh Ruach Neshama. It's its essence. It's one with, and therefore the Rebbe said Yechida permeates all levels, right? Like oil. Not only does it stay above it, but it makes everything oily, because the essence of Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama is Chaya. I'm saying it's Yechida. So when that level of Amunah is revealed in the body, it's not a superficial, indirect influence of Amunah. Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama is God. And if it's God, then it is as Amunah, because it is. It's not only seeing is believing, that the seeing causes the believing. That's indirect. It's something outside of me, really. It's something outside of me causing me to believe. Chaya is outside of the person. It's al-keiches makifim. It's not the essential keich of the person. It's keiches makifim. If it's keiches makifim, this emunah that comes from chaya is also superficial. It's not going to permeate the person's nefesh or neshama. The neshama, the emunah that comes from, because the neshama is elukus. The essence of the neshama is elukus. The essence is in nefesh, ruach, neshama, chayichida. It is what it. That's what it is. So therefore, that emunah is the essential emunah.
So the higher level emunah of Yechida helps internalize the lower level emunah?
Yeah, it's not a question of internalizing. It is it.
It is it.
It is nefesh or neshama. It is the neshama.
So how can the lower level of the neshama being revealed to the being cause such a tremendous
lower level of neshama? What do you mean?
It's the yechid, the chaya of the neshama is being revealed to their nevi'im. Their nevi'im, which means they should be able to handle a lot more. So a lower level, at the 4th level of their neshama is being revealed to them, and they're having such tremendous reaction.
That doesn't mean they're yechida by them. The nevi'im had yechida shemanef should be revealed to
That
them.
makes sense. So how? All I'm saying is, when the yechida is revealed to the person, to us, simple people, it should have a lot more.
We don't get yechida revealed that often. Don't worry about it.
And because a lot of fireworks.
Why fireworks?
doing this.
When the Alter Rebbe was walking with one of Rebbe Shlomo Kalina, Ryan Kalina, I don't know, they were walking with, and there was a chotzer of Rebbe Shlomo Kalina, and the Rebbe Shlomo Kalina told the Alter Rebbe that this chotzer of mine is Gilu Eliyahu. Okay? He has Gilu Eliyahu. And the Alter Rebbe said to him, "My Binyamin Kletzker in a vache dikes Tzim Shalom Tzim Mincha had Gilu Etzem and Neshama lach zechais in Yanus Gilu Eliyahu." He said, "My Binyamin Kletzker, which in a weekday Sim Shalom has Gili of the essence of the Neshama, and he laughs at the other guy's Gili Eliyahu. The Gili Etzem and Neshama is Yechidah Shem Nefesh revealed, but the Binyamin Kletzker, the Yechidah Shem Nefesh was revealed in a weekday Sim Shalom. It's a whole different Avodah. But here the Rebbe is explaining that the amunah that a Jew has, and basically the whole Maamar the Rebbe is going to explain that the Raya Mehemne, the Mordechai, the Moshe Rabbeinu, and the generation reveals this level of amunah in the Yid. Not the lower level of amunah, because what is the Rebbe Yechidah? The Rebbe revealed the Yechidah of the Jew. That's why he said it's called Yechidas. The Rebbe's Yechidah is always revealed. A Jew comes in properly prepared, 10 years, 15 years of preparation. The Rebbe reveals his Yechidah, and therefore it's called Yechidus, because two Yechidas are being revealed. But that's the role of Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay.
Azavar